In the last video, we have made a registration and login system for our users, but now we need a way to persist their authenticated session, or else we won't be able to authenticate them when they make requests to an endpoint that requires authentication. For example, if they want to make a post or visit their own profile, or edit a post or something like that, we need a way to authenticate them. And we don't want the users to log in every single time they want to do something, so we need a way to store the authentication session. So now there are tons of ways to persist the authentication session. Usually a lot of people like to use JWT tokens, but JWT tokens can get a bit complicated to securely store it and securely handle it. But for that reason, I want to use server-sided sessions, where every session instance holder will get a session ID. The session ID will be stored in a cookie, and that ID will refer to session object on the server side, which will be stored in a Redis server for our case. So for that, we're going to be using Flask-Session, and it's a pretty helpful library for managing server-sided sessions, and I would like to use Redis with it. So at first I want to install a few things. Also, don't mind my VS Code. My IntelliSense for Python was not working on Vim, so I had to switch to VS Code. But I'm still using the Vim extension system, so don't worry. So we're going to have Flask-Session, and Redis. So let me do cd backend source. Let me go into the virtual env, and I can do pip install -r requirements.txt. So while that's installing, we need to also take care of our Redis instance. Now I'm using Docker to run Redis, but you can install Redis for your own operating system. For Mac, I think you can use Homebrew for that, and for Linux, it depends on the distro you're running. But if you don't want to go through the hassle, just use Docker and install Redis with it. So I have Redis running, and I can connect to it using Redis CLI. If I type ping, I get pong, which means my Redis server is up and running perfectly. I can exit from that, and here I can go to my .env, and I want to have a Redis URI, and that will be Redis the localhost, nothing else. It's because my Redis is running on localhost, and you don't need the port because it's the default port, and I might as well even add it to the .env.example. I'm going to do that later, to be honest. So you have that, and now I need to go to extensions. So in order to use Flask server-sided session, I want to import that from here. From Flask-Session, import session. And I'm going to do server session equals to session. Okay, that's great. Now if you go to the app file, I also want to import this from here. So server session. And then here I can do server session.init app. Now we also need to change a few config parameters. So here I want to first include the session type, which would be Redis. So I can just do server-sided session. So those will be the server-sided session section. Then it's going to be session type. That will be Redis. And then I need to have a session Redis, which will be a Redis instance. So I can do session Redis, and I need to import Redis here. So import Redis, and I can do Redis from URL, and then os.environment Redis URI. Do I need anything else? We can permanent session lifetime. Now the thing is, we want a session to last for 1 week. So 1 week, 2 seconds. So 604800. So we're gonna include that here. Oops, my bad. And this will be 604800. That will be 1 week in seconds. Great. So now I think we can use Flask session, and it's pretty easy to use. All we need to do, let me first run the application. And here I can log in to my account. It says success equals true. But for the cookies, we have something, but in our Redis instance, we're not going to get anything. If we go here, Redis CLI, list keys, oops, sorry, keys, asterisk, yeah, we have a session here. So I can just copy this, and I can do, oops, okay, copy and then do get. This is going to be in a, is this like binary or something? I think this is in bytes. So anyways, we have an empty session here, and I want to set some data in this session. So I can go to our login user endpoint, and you see over here it says user ID will be used to store server-side session. So this is what we're going to do. So from Flask, we're going to import session. Now the thing Flask session does is that it basically replaces the Flask's normal session object with its own server-side session object. So it's basically like a variable proxy here. So it's like a global variable proxy, and it is. The context is switched for every request. So for every request, the session object might be different. So for every request, you're going to get the values for that specific request. So we can do session, and we can set user ID. And this will be the user ID. That's all we need to do. So basically, in a session, I recommend you don't put any sensitive data, just the user ID, so that whenever someone sends a request to a route that needs authentication, we can just fetch the user ID from the session dictionary and then check if the user ID is a valid user or not, and if they have permission for doing something. So you have that, and now we can take a look at this. So for registration, I mean, I already created an account with this, and if I send the request, I get the same session. But if I go here, you see there is this thing called user ID, and this is the ID of the user. Okay, so we get the session data stored here, and this is the same session key, the key that is also over here. So this is basically storing the thing in Redis. And now let's actually let's do something like, I don't know, let's fetch the current user. So for the current user, I wanna first get the user ID. It'll be session dot get, or instead of session dot get, I just want to do session dot get user ID. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And now I can get the user ID, and I can do user service dot get user, and here I can just user, that I want to do return user dot to JSON. That's all I'm gonna do, and then this will be the user ID. I don't need to do anything else here. And I'm gonna also add an authentication required thingy, where you need to make sure that the user exists. And that's not gonna be a big problem. So we can now go to our user service, and let's create a function for def get user and ID. Let's do user ID str. This will return a user, or I can just do optional, and this should import from typing. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna do user, and it's user dot query dot filter by, and then ID equals to user ID dot first, and then I'm gonna return a user. That's all I'm gonna do. It's gonna be like a small thing. Okay, so we have that, and we can now try requesting the thing here. So let me create a new request. I can do get current user. I also want to create a folder called Authentication. I want to put everything in here. Oops. Okay, great. So in this, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be add me, for the headers, we're going to be using the same cookies. And if you send a request, it's going to return this here. I also want to do user.toJSON, and this is going to be include or show email true. And if I send the request here, it's going to include the email as well. So yeah, my user information is being shown here. But for some reason, if I remove the cookie, it's going to throw an error here because this is returning none. And for that, we need to create a login required thing. So if the user does not have a valid session, well, all it's going to do is it's going to throw an error. So for the login required thing for the decorator, I can have a utils folder. And in this utils folder, I'm going to have an auth.py, and I'm going to create a decorator. So we're going to use functools for this, for wrapping the decorator. So we're going to do def login required. We're going to take the function, and then this will be wrapping the function, and this will be the inner function. It's going to take some args, some arguments, and some keyword arguments. Now what I want to do is I want to check if the session exists or not. So from Flask import session, and I'm also going to do from API.services import user service. Okay, so if not session.get ID, it's going to be user ID. We want to raise the unauthorized. So I want to import that from worksuite.exceptions import unauthorized. So unauthorized, and this will be unauthorized. Like literally, that's all we're going to do. And then I want to fetch the user from the database. So user would be user service get user. I also want to put user ID, and this will be, oops, bruh, I forgot how to use Vim. Nice. And yeah, I can just copy paste it easily, but no, I'm gonna use Vim the way it's supposed to be used, and I forgot how to use Vim. Great. So user ID, and if not user, same thing. So on but I was supposed to yank it, but no, that's not how we do things here. Wow, intense struggling. Great. And we're gonna do the same thing here, because why the heck not? You see, there's this swag, there's this flex that you can do if you use Vim. Anyways, now we're gonna run the function. So return f, and then we're gonna pass in the user first, and then we're gonna add the other arguments, and then return inner. Great. So that's all we need to do here, and now we can have a decorator. So from api.utils auth import login required. Now I can just put this here at login required. That's all I need to do here. If I go here, run this, it's gonna say unauthorized because I don't have the cookie. It's basically gonna say unauthorized, and if I log in now, I have the cookie, and if I run it now, wait, get current user take 0 position. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. We need to take the user, yeah. It's required. I can just do user. Yep, great. Wait, user's not defined. Oh, my bad. We need the type-ins from api.models import user. And run this. Boom, and boom. Yep, we have this. So if we remove the cookie, it's gonna stay unauthorized. And instead of saying unauthorized, how about we do not logged in? Do not logged in. And we can do the same here. What the heck? Okay. Not logged in. And yeah, I think it should work now. Great. So yeah, it says not logged in. And if I log in now, it's not logging in as well. How about I also do this for the registration route as well? We can just, like take this line, copy it, paste it. Oops, no. Wait, I forgot how to copy. And boom. So for the create user thing, I want to also return the user object itself. So user, and I want to return the new user. New user. And if I go here, this will be, this will be user.id. They're going to do success equals true. Because why the heck not? I can just remove this as well. Now, if I register another account, let me go to MySQL. And I can do delete from users. I deleted a user. Okay. Now, if I register an account, it should automatically log me in. Remove the cookie. Send. Success equals true. I get a new cookie. And now, if I do get current user, yep, I can get a user. So we have implemented server-side sessions as well as our own login required decorator to check if the user is logged in or not. Now, I could have done this without the decorator, but that would mean I need to do 2 database requests or 2 database queries if I wanted to get the user. So I'm just passing it as an argument, and every login required function will take the argument, because if you're not taking the user, if you're not validating the user, why do you even need a login required decorator? So yeah, you just take the argument. Yeah, so that's it for this video. All the code will be available on GitHub, and I'll see you guys in the next video.